9 lives, 9 tips. You want to gather your information to create your learning plan. You want to set your learning objectives. You want to keep your eyes on the goal. You want to make sure your information is simple, simplify wherever needed. Chunk your content into manageable pieces to help your learners retain that information. You want to make a plan for updating your materials. You also want to create the course and incorporate a variety of activities within it. Allow for practice opportunity whenever appropriate. Offer feedback on the learner to let them know how they can improve upon their performance or keep what they're doing. And finally, evaluate yourself and your course to make sure that it is as effective as possible. And then you can rest on your laurels until the next project comes along.
So branding and positioning obviously apply to selling shoes and soap and laundry soap, but what does that have to do with you, the technical communicator? This is where personal branding comes in. Just as a company creates a brand and promotes why people should buy their product or service, so should you create a personal brand and promote why people should buy your product or service. Part of building a personal brand is responding to market changes. In their book, Built to Last, Successful Habits of Visionary Companies, the authors state that of the visionary companies they studied, all had a history of responding to market changes while staying true to their core values.
So when you write these topics, for the functions that are similar, write as generically as you can get so that you can reuse the topics. From any screen captures, remove any branding that you can. Since I'm using Madcap Flair, table of contents, tell Flair what information to put in to the documentation and the order to use it. Well, use as many as you need to create your deliverables, because otherwise you'll be swapping topics in and out of a table of contents, and it's just really unnecessary work.
So we're trying to move the tech writer to become a quarterback, coordinating other teams and other team members to get them the documentation they need, or the quality of documentation they need. So the writer doesn't have to spend time getting it or massaging it. So what we need is deep information and a process that does not require the writer to go out and get the information themselves. The writer is still in the traditional role. They'll create the foundation and the framework of the documentation, the voice, to a large part the scheduling, the pacing.
So to give me focus on how it's going to go forward, I created this acronym called TAG. And what does TAG stand for? For me, it was like taking inventory of my skill set, assessing my skill set in terms of the skills I had and the gaps. How could I close that gap? And getting to work in terms of looking at, okay, what do I need to do now? I did my research, I did my volunteer work, I did my informational interviews, I did my certification. Okay, now what's next? I need to work on my resume, I need to work on my LinkedIn profile, I need to set up interviews and stuff like that. So TAG kind of helped me to align. So when you think of TAG, just think about giving yourself a little gift.